Howdy gamers, Old Gamer Guy here. Welcome to another Stellaris Console Edition video. It is the year 2648 and the Pretheran Scourge are still spreading out across the galaxy. It's not looking good, to be honest. I am not optimistic, even though we are not giving up, and it looks like the Imari are still doing some work down there in Pretheran Space. But speaking of the Imari, I did notice something. I thought the war in heaven was over with, but looking here at the victory conditions, down there at the bottom of the screen, it says it is not possible to win during the war in heaven. So apparently the war is technically still going on. We are being denounced for our role in that war, but we'll get back to that a little bit later in the video. One of my good subscribers pointed out that my administrative capacity was way out of whack, and they are absolutely right. I noticed it a long time ago, started to do something, and then forgot all about it. So in this video, I'm going to build a bunch of uplink nodes. These will create coordinator jobs and also administrative capacity. In the last video, we did a lot of colonization. It looks like we still have 3 planets available to us. I started to send a colony ship over here, but it looks like we already have one scheduled for this planet. So let's go over here and colonize this place. It's a tropical world, and we're going to get a colony ship started over here. Most of our fleets are in this system, repairing and reinforcing. I also have a fleet of Pretheran Scourge up here. They're kind of slow, so I don't keep them with the rest of my fleets. But meanwhile, in Scourge Space, it looks like the Imari are at least trying to do something. They've got a fleet of 142k, so let's see how they do here.
Alert, station engaged. Planetary invasion alert. Malignant atmospheric incursion detected.
So that's not very encouraging at all.
Alert. Spaceport engaged.
Like I said, I am not optimistic about how this war with the Scourge is going to play out. But we're not going to give up despite apparently overwhelming odds. We will keep fighting. And we'll just see what happens. Like I said, our main fleets have been here, repairing and reinforcing. I'm going to bring them over to this system where my fleet of Pretheran Scourge is hanging out. And at this moment, my plan is to bring all of those fleets down through Bok Space and attack the Scourge that way. Like I said, that's my plan at this moment, because you can probably guess that I am going to change my mind.
Alert, research station deconstructed.
You can see there's a lot of stuff going on up there in the north, including, it appears, the Sentinels. It looks like the Sentinels are actually doing something. So let's see how they do against the Scourge. The Sentinel fleet is about 44k, but they should have some nice technology, so I'm curious to see how they do against the Scourge. So let's watch this battle. But first, let's import some exotic gases, because once again that deal has run out. So let's renew this deal and then watch the battle.
Alert. Mining station deconstructed.
So once again, not an encouraging result at all. It appears that the Scourge are just going to keep rolling through the galaxy, devouring everything as they go. But we're not going to give up. We're going to keep fighting the good fight. And here's a little bit of encouraging news. Our outpost in the Break system has been rebuilt once again. This keeps happening, so I guess it keeps being destroyed and rebuilt. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and get started on a colony for this planet. Let's think positive and colonize this planet. I think this is our last planet that we can colonize, so let's get on it. Unfortunately, the Sentinels are losing another fleet. I thought they might win this battle, but as you can see, there are some more Scourge fleets approaching, so the Sentinels were going to be destroyed either way here. So that's unfortunate. But never mind that, because deep space communication arrays have picked up a brief automated distress call from the Curator Station in the Uzab Vortex system. The transmission ceased after just a few minutes, and long-range recon probes have confirmed that the ancient space station has been destroyed. Residual ion trails suggest that forces from the Pretheran Scourge were behind this attack. It is a sad end to their legacy. Our administrative capacity situation seems to be improving, but we are still running a deficit. So now I'm going to upgrade all of my uplink nodes into network junctions, which will create more administrative capacity. Meanwhile, in the Senate, I told you I'm still being denounced by the rest of the galaxy for my role in the war in heaven. I would like for them to begin to focus on the Pretheran Scourge, so I am going to support this initiative, and that will catapult that initiative up to second place in the proposal queue. It's behind integrated gardens, which of course must be more important than the Scourge, so I'm going to sarcastically oppose integrated gardens. I was hoping the hierarchy of Bok would have fortified some of their spaceports a little bit better, but they don't seem to have done much fortification at all. I was hoping to let my fleets sit at one of these choke points and take out the Scourge as they fly in, but these spaceports are pretty weak. But nevertheless, I'm going to start bringing my fleets down toward this choke point. But like I said, eventually I'm going to change my mind, because clearly there is more action going on in the northern part of the map. But for now, we're going to bring our fleets down this way.
Planetary surface settlement established.
Our mirror dimension counterparts are having a bad time. Sorry about that, but we are also having a bad time. Sorry for your luck. The Senate is finally ready to vote on the very important business of integrated gardens. There are some good things about this proposal, and there are some bad things about this proposal, but mainly I just don't give a damn. I don't feel like this is more important than the Scourge. So I'm going to remain in the opponent column for this initiative. Focus on the Scourge, people.
Technological acquisition successful.
Our outpost in the Breek system has been rebuilt once again, so hooray for that. And also, once again, the Sentinels have lost another 44K fleet. They love those 44K fleets because that is all they are sending against the Scourge, even though they have a fleet of 123K just kind of sitting here looking cool next to the black hole. I don't know what they're doing. But our fleets have reached their choke point destination. And I'm going to move them down to one more choke point before I inevitably change my mind. We have scum and villainy on Imroot, but Imroot is about to be invaded, so I'm not really too concerned about it. There's not much I can do about it. But here's where I changed my mind. There's just too much action going on up there in the northern part of the map. We are directly losing space up here, whereas down where we are, it's just the Bok that are losing space. So I'm going to send most of my fleets up here, and then I'm going to send my fleet of Pretheran to this choke point. So we started moving up that way, and I noticed a Pretheran fleet approaching down here, so I decided to take a look. And it is a sizable group of Pretheran. Altogether about 215K. So I'm glad I'm moving my fleets away from this. Who knows what would have happened if we had gone up against these Pretheran. Eventually we will have to, though, so that's the that's the bad thing. But for now, the Bok can enjoy those Pretheran while we fly away to the northern part of the map. But hold everything. There have been many reports of unexplainable seismic disturbances on Tau Cygni Prime, which is one of our new colonies. Tremors can be felt across the planet, and many of our settlements have suffered damage. While investigating the earthquakes, our scientists discovered a vast network of subterranean caverns. The deepest of these caverns are home to some kind of indigenous civilization, and they appear to be tunneling towards the surface. Ground vibrations from our settlements may have triggered this behavior, but we cannot be certain. There is no telling how these aliens will react when they spill out of their tunnels and encounter our colonists. We have to deal with this situation.
Situation log adjusted.
So, taking a look at the situation log, we have two choices. We can either establish communications, or we can launch a preemptive strike. The research into establishing communications will happen faster, and we would like to be peaceful with these creatures anyway. So we are not going to launch a preemptive strike. We will start researching, establishing communications. We've got enough problems.
Planetary surface settlement established.
We have a new settlement. And you can see up there at the top of the screen that our administrative capacity situation is good at the moment, but now we have a deficit in our energy credits because we are losing planets to the Scourge. So there's always something with this game. There's always something going wrong, and I'm terrible at solving these problems, unfortunately.
Planetary surface settlement established.
Now we have another settlement established, so we can build a few things. But in the meantime, our fleets are arriving. They are grouping together, getting ready to attack the Scourge. We have a bunch of corvettes and a bunch of battleships and one cruiser. And we are about 184K total strength. I almost totally screwed up and had my corvettes running out in front of everything else, and they are of course faster than everything else. So they would have arrived first, and our fleets would probably have been totally destroyed because of that. But what I'm going to do is stop everybody, and then I'm going to put my main group of battleships in the lead and have everybody else follow them. I made this mistake once earlier in the game, and I almost made it again. But we are going to bring our fleets up and attack the Scourge in this system. So we're 184K.
Planetary invasion alert.
This bunch of Scourge are about 187K.
Alert. Spaceport engaged.
So let's see
Alert.
how we do.
Engaged. Hostile fleet assets engaged.
And look at that. We have won a nice victory over a sizable bunch of Scourge. So that's exciting news. I don't know whether it means anything in the big picture, but good times. And here's another little bit of good news, because the Sentinels sent another 44K fleet against some Scourge. We do have scum and villainy on Jurg Sahul, so that's not great. But let's get back to the good news, because the Sentinels are going to win their battle here. So we got a couple of victories here against the Scourge. It looks like the Sentinels aren't really sure where they're going next, but I'm sure they're excited with their victory. I understand. We lost a few ships in our encounter, mostly corvettes that we'll be able to rebuild quickly, but I'm going to go ahead and bring our fleets back down to Gossamer to repair and reinforce. And I think I'm going to end this video here, even though I technically could add some more clips to this project, but for a change, I want to end the video on some victories instead of some defeats. So I'm still pessimistic about how this war is going, but we did get a few victories, so that's good times, and we will pick it up right here in the next video. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.